Hello and welcome back everybody to our England DNA Burton Albion series. The season finished off okay. Now, it doesn't look like it was that great, but we're actually quite far ahead of the relegation zone. And I made one tactical change. When I made that tactical change, the results actually massively improved. I changed to it for the QPR game. I changed to a 4-4-1-1 system using the wide players effectively as like number 10s, wide number 10s, to try and get our central field players that we've got in the squad all into one team. And then we had a really good month. And this month here, I started to get a little bit clever with who I played. I tried to play some younger players that we weren't quite first team ready. I tried to play a few, like you can see here, against Peterborough, we played Nicky Winnell. There's Steve Torrance, the other players in this list here that we played. I tried to get a bit clever. Then towards the end, I decided, okay, for the last two games, let's play the first team again, try and wrestle back some results because we had the whole month of defeats, as it were. So I tried to get some more performances from the team. And I do think January is going to be a good step forward. Now, there's a big reason for that. Iran Oxby, who I've just put to the 21s, really to play the last few games of the season. They nearly got relegated to the division below from the under 21s. And unfortunately, they got relegated anyway, even with him in the team. He came into the first team squad. And struggled at the start. He came back in later when he went to the 4-4-1, and he was banging in goals. So, he looks incredible, doesn't he? It sort of opens back up the possibility of a lot of different systems of play that we could potentially use. We sort of have wingers, but we have him as the striker. He just looks so good. I really hope we don't lose him, but we're probably going to. I managed to get him on a 3-year contract, but he's got a release clause of 13.25 million. That is not very good at all. My hope is that he stays in the first team on this contract for a few months into next season. Then when we get to early next season, after a new contract, we're trying to get that bumped up again until we can try and hopefully get it out of team's reach. But I'm not looking forward to when teams get interested in him. Okay, so this is the first team squad with everybody in the first team squad that I think could play in the first team next season. So I've got a few of the 21s now bumped back up. So it's quite a big squad of players that we could pick from. Now, that could be a good thing. It also means it's got a lot of, not necessarily strength in depth, but we've got a lot of players that can just about do a bit of a job, but aren't really ready to be proper starting level players. So it looks a bit better than it actually is in that sense. But yeah, season review then. We're going to have a quick look. We'll go through the season review in a second from the game's perspective. But 52 points, get myself out the way here a second as well. 52 points. We finished with technically 5 more points than last season, but really we could have had quite a few more if I hadn't have changed the team around so much to sort of try and see how players did. So it's a good improvement there. We also finished a couple of places higher. I do think that judging on that run there, and those last two matches where I started to play more seriously for the results again, I do think that we've got a really good chance of getting ourselves that sort of top half push promotion again kind of scenario. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But I'm hopeful again. And the tactic is as follows. So the idea is to have our two wing-backs going inverted again as central field players. So these players, again, are not really full-backs. They are really midfield players playing in the wing-back areas. We've got two wide midfielders on dribble less, stay wide. So they're going to stay wide, and they're going to look to play through balls in. Now, who are they going to play them to? They've got the striker that's going to be up. They've got a shadow striker making runs and a CM attack making runs. So that's what we've managed to get here. And Playmaker as well will also make runs in behind. Not quite as often as these other lads, but he'll also make runs forwards. I could change this role up front, but generally this worked pretty well. The central fielder attack, like the De Bruyne sort of role, got really a lot of space and chances in the half spaces making runs in behind, which was good to see. I could maybe balance the tactic out a little bit and have maybe wide midfielder support or automatic here and balance it back out on the other side. But for now, that's what worked really, really well for those months. And we'll have to wait and see if it continues as something I want to do. I feel like I need one more runner in behind rather than the deep line forward support, but we'll have to see. If we go through this little run here, what you can see is Joe Powell got the goal in this game. Then you can see goal scorers like John King, Hudson, Kiernan. Often the player playing that CM attack role seemed to get a goal. Oxby scored in this one. We had a couple of goals here. Oxby scored again with Hamer. And then let's just look at the last two games we played properly again. We had Lockwood and Kiernan. So yeah, a lot of times we were played in the CM attack role, all the strikers seem to score in this tactic. Okay, so let's go through and do a player development review on some of these players here and go through some players that have either got something to show from the development or players that happen to just play very well in the last few games off of camera in any case. Aled Harrison had a really disappointing season, really. He didn't really improve. He got a couple of injuries, nearly got replaced as the first choice goalkeeper at one point, so pretty average from him. Luke Norb had a pretty good year, improved on his one-on-ones and his positioning, some other stuff as well. Looked like he was nearly going to be the number one goalkeeper at one point, so good lad. And improving well and looking like a pretty good goalkeeper, really, going forwards. Very close to Aled Harrison now. Kyle Andrew continues to improve. He continues to get quicker as well, which is really good. I think he's an excellent player. Hopefully continue with these technical improvements. He's got his dribbling up. He's got good first touch. Agility's going up. He's actually a really good player now, I would say, Carl Andrew. And I'm pleased that we've got him for a long, long time. We've got him for another 3 years plus a 3 extension. So no release clause. So it's looking good. Scott Rainford went a little bit under the radar for the 21s and 18s. His only problem is he's very slow. And if he's going to be a centre-back, he needs to be better in the air or be quicker. Hopefully both. So he's really good mentally, and yeah, he just needs to find his niche. What position is he going to be with us? Side of a back three, if he got a bit quicker, would be ideal. Not playing a back three right this second, of course, but... Now, Steve Torrance is another one. Steve Torrance is a left back. Again, side of a back three would be good. I think an inverted wing back support, he'd actually be very, very good at. So he fits the system okay. He looks a really good prospect, doesn't he? I probably need to try and get him into the team as early as possible. He sort of snuck up on us as well, under the radar a little bit. In fact, let's give him a new contract now. Oh, no, I just gave him a contract. Okay, that was it. I literally just gave him a contract. I couldn't get him on. Apparently, I didn't give him a extension thing to his contract, which is a bit disappointing from my perspective. I don't know why I wouldn't have done that, but I didn't, I guess. This was a good call from somebody in the comments. Somebody in the comments said they thought that Giannis was going to be the next big thing for us. And I wouldn't say it's quite the next big thing, but he's become a starting level player where I actually thought privately myself that he wasn't going to become that, but he has. So good call in the comment section. Well done to whoever that was. That was a good call. He's definitely a starting level player. And inverted fullback or inverted wingback support is a very good place for him to be in this tactic. And in this tactic currently, he's a starting level player. I think he's the kind of player where if we change tactic to something different, he may not be, especially if we went to like a back three. I don't think he's really good enough technically to be able to play as a midfielder and midfield three. But in an inverted fullback role, he's very, very good. And yeah, good progression for the year. So the problem with giving Steve Torrance game time to improve and develop as a player is this guy here. Lee Burley has been fantastic this season. He's improved loads. He's played very, very well. He got Terry Taylor basically out of the club. And I cannot play both Lee Burley and Steve Torrance in the same team in this current tactic, which is why I think sometimes we might need to be flexible about playing two different systems. Having our new Wonder Kid striker gives us an option to play a system with a striker as well. So maybe we could still do it. I'm not sure. I want to try and avoid playing strikerless if I can, just because it affects too much out of possession that I don't like. So, yeah. But then if we're not going to play strikerless ever, if possible, I need to have two strikers that I can rely on. Can I rely on John King as a backup? Can I rely on him? Probably. Who knows? But I can't rely if it's just one striker. I can't rely on just being John King. But having both him and Erlax now, the other striker, we could probably get away with that, but we'll have to find out. Sean Doherty has come out of nowhere, and he looks like he's going to be a pretty decent wing-back. He could be a wing-back in a back three. I'm probably going to try and start him in a few games next year because he's a good fullback. However, he needs to improve his tackling and positioning, and he's going to need game time, I think, to do this. So he's already 19. Like, he's so close. I almost want to give him a chance, but we'll have to see. Jordan Rowlands has been incredible this past year in the under-8. He's played mainly in the under-18s, not the 21s, so he's been improving loads there. I said this in an earlier episode. I feel like players are developing better in the under-18s than they are in the 21s, and he's an example of it. Look at that progression. That's all in 12 months. So what a performance from him. He can almost play CDM for us now, I think, if we need him to. But he's very, very close. Nicky Winnell, I did bring in to play like left inverted wing back if we needed him, but I think we've got two players ahead of him, so he's probably going to fall just short of being an actual first team player. But he could be an excellent rotational player. Like, he could play for the under 21s in the next couple of years still, and he could still be a very useful player. I don't quite know where he's going to play for us, but he's a sort of useful player. He can play centre mid or into an inverted fullback if required. Ian Lockwood, I started to give game time to, and he has rewarded me with becoming an actual potential wide player for us, and a very good one potentially as well. So looking good, can't finish, so he's looking more likely to be a wide player. Maybe a wing back in a back three if he could get his tackling up a little bit, but at least he's improved with the game time. Alberto Polo, slowly improving, not the best though. Iran Oxby, last 12 months, look at him. He's just amazing, isn't he? He is fantastic, and long may it continue. My only concern with him is we might lose him. That's my only concern with him, because he's brilliant, other than that. And lastly, finally, Helder, the determination +6. So, okay, so the reason this happened with Helder, the determination jump, is it said, I got an inbox item saying, due to off-the-field events, Helder's now more determined than ever, something like that. So he's had a boost in determination. He's actually improved in the last 6 months, which has been good to see, or the last 12 months rather. And maybe we're going to turn him into the player we thought he might have been for us earlier in the save. So that's good news. Big shout out to Royston Penny, who is a good backup goalkeeper. If I needed to sell one of the two first choice ones, I think he'd be a solid number 2 or 3. Okay, Reece Bliss. Now, he doesn't look perfect. He doesn't look great, does he, there, if you look at those attributes. However, Justin Parker-Trott looked exactly the same as this, and then out of nowhere, improved So looking at that, let's say improve his composure by 2, decisions by 2, off the ball by 1. All of a sudden, you're going to see a lot of double figures in the mentals. Dribbling goes up to 13, first touch 12, passing 12, acceleration 16, agility 15. If you're getting +2 and 1s all across, he could be a really good player all of a sudden, especially as a wing back in a back 3, which is what Justin Parker-Trott was, despite not having great tackling and positioning. Like, if his tackling was 7, marking was 7, positioning was 9, he could do the job fine that Justin Parker-Trott did. So that opens up the possibility of going back to a 3 at the back tactic as well. I'm watching Reece Bliss with a close eye because he could be a really effective player. And that is pretty much it. 2 bits of news to bring to you. Board of announced the new stadium will go ahead. It's going to be the Ben Robinson Arena after one of Burton's heroes. It's going to cost us £25 million, but selling the previous ground is going to give us a bit of money. I'm not sure the capacity has really grown that much, is it? I mean, 8,000, I suppose it is actually quite useful, having the extra 8,000, so there is that. We're going to move there in just 1 season time, actually. It's going to be pretty soon. That's actually pretty good for us. We've still got state-of-the-art training facilities, superb youth facilities, exceptional for academy recruitment and for youth recruitment. And also, the under-21s got relegated to Premier Division 2, which is disappointing. That's now below your Cities, your Chelsea, Liverpools, Uniteds, etc. Also, I'm not sure I mentioned it actually, but Victor's also left us. He basically was complaining about something. I think he wanted to go and play football, so I just released him his contract. Thank you very much, Victor, for all of your efforts. We really appreciate you, mate. You're a club legend really for us. Absolutely fantastic player. And we're going to move on. Basically, we're relying on him a bit too much anyway, and I need to start using other players. Obviously, with Iran coming in now, that's going to be a nice player to have. And also Ian Lockwood as well has made himself a really good option off the bench, and it's going to be there. I can quite easily see William being sold as well because we don't really use him, and he's just really eating up wages at this point. So there's that. But yeah, I thought I'd show you that we've let go one of the club legends really early. Well, legends for us in the save, isn't it? Really, in Victor. So there's that. Finance is looking okay as well. Here we go then. End of season review. This season's results, let me get out of the way as well. Like I said, a few more points than last year, a couple of places above as well. Moments to remember. 4-1 win, apparently, which was good against QPR. Finances have gone up in commercial and retail match day. Corporate hospitality goes up. Sponsorship goes up. Broadcast revenue goes down, and so does competition prize money. So I expect some of this is going to go up next year just based on the fact that we are going to have more people in the stands. How we lined up, that was pretty much sort of what we went with that team. We didn't play that tactic that often, so I don't know why it's gone with that completely, but it has. The accolades. So fans player of the season was Joe Powell. Young player of the season was Carl Andrew. Top goal scorer was Joe Powell with 11. That's another player we might have to end up trying to use less and less. I'm almost certain this is going to be his last year as well. Most assists, Tom Keenan with 8. Most player match awards is Joe Powell with 4. Highest average rating was Carl Andrew with 7. Most passes complete was Carl Andrew. Mostly goals by a player. So Joe Powell broke the all-time record, I think, for the club at the 126 goals, league goals anyway. History of the making, dynamic manager timeline, anything here? 400 matches, investing potential, investing in youth. Yeah, that's one of our youngsters that we signed, of course, in youth intake. And that is it. You are bang up to date. Right, so the second part of this episode is going to be, you're going to join me at the start of the season. We're going to play the first few games of the season, and we'll see how we're doing right off the bat and see what kind of fixtures we get. See if anybody's improved, I guess. We're not going to do a full review of the players. We'll do that. We've sort of basically got ourselves to a situation where we do like the attribute development reviews at the end of the season and in the December episode. And we don't really do it in the other ones between that because it's not really long enough to see the differences. I think that seems to make a better balance, but let me know if you think anything different on that. But okay, I'll see you then for the start of the next season. I'm going to play all this off camera now and get through the pre-season. I don't know what the first team is going to be. We're going to continue with this tactic. The way it sort of works is both of these have got the freedom to sort of go be more aggressive, him more than him. And as they go and be more aggressive, these two are going to come and sit in that sort of space. So we don't really leave this big gap here. And that's what it's all about roles, right? And roles and duties, that where are your players going to end up? So that looks on the face of it like you've got two movers, especially on the right-hand side. But if the two inverted wing-backs go where they're supposed to go and they're sitting in this spot here, they're going to be defending in a fairly decent area to help us retain the ball and stop counters. I could maybe make this side with him on a different duty. It could maybe make the striker something different. We're going to start off exactly the same as it currently is, and then we'll do tweaks. Really, if you're going to see more tactical tweaks in the next episode when we come back in December, but yeah, that's what we're going to start with anyway, in any case. But I'll see you in a few months then. We'll see how the preseason's gone. And again, I'm just going to do 2 weeks of the games preseason. Then we're going to do our normal schedule, and then put the technical one on for the most of the time. I think anyway, like, we did have a really good March. In fact, let me see. What do we do in March, training-wise? So in March, it would have been right at the end of the schedule, plus it would have been where I'd first changed it over. So Okay, so this year, what I might do, we do our regular schedule like we always do. However, in that last part of the section where we start to rotate, we have to repeat parts of it. Let's just do March again in April. And then those last 2 weeks or last few weeks, we'll do the England DNA match one than we do for a match that we did at the start. But then for the youth teams, they'll continue on the technical one. Because since we've done this, and we've done like the last month and a half of technical stuff for the younger age groups, they seem to have really kicked on more. Maybe it's just the players that we've got on the stage right as a development as a club. But the line, the comparison, the line draw is there. That since we've been doing that, the younger players that have come through, like Lee Burley, he's come through in the period where we've done that for the youth teams, right? So is it a coincidence? It could just be a coincidence. It could also mean something in how we're doing the training now, because they're getting an extra 7 weeks of proper training focused on technicals, which is what they get neglected a little bit by the overall structure of the sessions. And yeah, let's see what happens. So let's come back then in a few months, see how the team's been going, see how this UEFA B, England DNA stuff's going, and we'll hopefully be in a good position going in to start next season. Okay, so in the summer, all you have missed is that we did sell Tom Hamer, who was our, I guess, third choice captain before. We have sold him for £500,000, just over, to Luton. I mean, he's a good player, but we're going to start to replace him anyway over the next few seasons. Basically, I don't think that him in the team losing him is going to send us down, and that's the only current thing that could make us worse if we went down. I think we've got enough good players to stay out away from that being a huge issue, and yeah, we're going to go with as soon as we've got it here. Going to move a couple of these players down to the 21s. Yeah, I've just made the first team squad a bit smaller, really, for the first team, to make sure we've got enough players we can use, but then also that the players that aren't playing can play for the 21s. I know I could just set them to be available for the 21s. I'd like them to have them actually in the squad, and then we'll see how it goes there. Okay, so that's your first team. The only thing I think that might change early on is Dylan Wilson could actually play as a starting, I think, left centre mids instead of Heller. That's what I'm looking at right now. Like, Dylan Wilson can dribble as Heller can't. Passing's the same. Technique's very similar. Composure's the same. Decisions is close. Do you know, look at this. I think I'm going to play Dylan Wilson. I mean, he's 5 years younger, don't forget, as well, which is another big thing of this. Do you know what? I'm going to change it. Dylan Wilson's going to play as a starter in there. I can't believe that Sam Hiller's 24 years old already. That's just sort of flown by with him. Well, obviously, he was really the first intake, wasn't he? So, been a large part of the team, but there we are. Okay, that's going to be your team for the start of the season, the 4-4-1-1. Harrison in goal, Burley, Andrew, King, and then Georgie across the back. Kieran, Wilson, Hudson, Lockwood across the middle. Hughes playing off of Iran Oxby. The first thing to look out for is a change to the striker role, which could happen in this episode. The other bigger changes could happen in the next one. So last season, don't forget Pirelli, the Pirelli Stadium. Okay, I like for Stoke early on. They go on the right-hand side. They cross into the box. We're going to head this away. Wilson clears it away straight up to where Hughes... Well, sort of wasn't really there, was he? Stoke going through, that guy's well offside. That's going to be disallowed. But he gets it, plays into Tom Kiernan. Kiernan goes through, goes wide, still shoots, keeper saves. Free kick for Stoke in a pretty central area, and it's just cleared. No chances at halftime, we'll say. Do it for the fans. We'll change the striker to an attack duty, and we'll change the left backs because he's got a knock. It's cleared away. Stoke are going to continue their attack on the left-hand side. We're going to win this surely, aren't we? King, good lad. Dylan Wilson plays it back to Georgie. Georgie goes inside, plays it back to the goalkeeper. Okay, it's a bit of a risk-adverse decision, but it's okay. Wilson now gets it. Going to make a little run here, are we? Come on, make the run. Hughesy, you got to make that run, haven't you? Lockwood's going to get to this, though. Far post. You've got two strikers in there, two forwards. Hughes goes up the header, heads towards goal, heads it over the bar. I'm going to take off Oxby and throw on Joel King, and I'll probably take off, I think, should we do here? Tom Kiernan off, Polo on. Just look up a set piece. They're throwing it down the right-hand side. They can build their attack here. They go inside towards their forwards. They cross it, hits the post. It's going to be the end of the highlight, I think. Corner for Stoke. It's towards the near post, headed, back to the caretaker, actually. It's going to go back inside. Oh, come on, please don't concede like this. The last minute, come on. We're going to clear it away. Who's going to get to this? He does, then just does that. And Stoke are going to get the highlight. Are they going to score? I hope that guy's offside, to be honest, and he is. Last second highlight here. Georgie throws into Hughes. Plays back to Sam Heller. Into Georgie. Plays it into John King, who's on side, but it's go back to their goalkeeper. This could be a highlight for either side at this point. We're setting our formation well enough. When he kicks this, it's going to be a case of can we get to the second ball. We bring it down. Mitchell King plays it long and early. Goes up to Hughes. And the attack stops there for us. We're going to win this one, though. Nope, we don't. They get in behind us. Oh, and it's a red card highlight. Well done, Mitch King. I applaud that. Well done for not letting him score a goal in the last second. Good, lads. And yeah, it finishes 0-0 with not many highlights, not many things in possession for us. A little bit like the previous seasons, really, different tactics we used. So, not a great start for the 4-4-1-1 and the games this season. Right, I'm going to skip past the Barrow game. We're going to play Wickham. We're going to play apparently Derby County yet again. Trust me, this isn't deliberate. We're going to be playing them yet again though in the episode because they happen to fit in right here. So I'll see you in a second for those two games. Okay, they managed to win the cup game, fallen off camera. We're going to play again against Wickham. I'm going to keep it the same again, early doors for the same tactic, but we'll see how things develop in the next couple of games. That wasn't a great start. Assistant manager says, got that impressed me. Okay, ball is thrown into Hughes, gets it back now to Lockwood, to Giannis, plays it back to Mitchell King, who's going to stay on the ball, play it back to the goalkeeper, into Carl Andrew. Plays it across, or just about get it to Tom Keenan on the left-hand side. Goes wide. Is he going to cross the ball here? He switches it to Lockwood, who plays it into Hudson. He's got to score it. Oh, he's not quite finished it. Striker doesn't get there. That is a shame. Free kick for Wickham. They whack it towards the far post. Is headed straight away. And Oxby puts in a challenge. Hudson has it. He runs away backwards. Do you know what? I don't know what he did there, but he has actually lost the ball. They try and go in behind. Janice gets to it. The goalkeeper now receives it. Plays to Mitchell King. This does not look good for us. This highlight. Doesn't look like it's going to end well. And Harrison just launched it. Oxby's might even get to this, but Keenan's definitely going to get to this. He runs away with it, plays it into Hughes. Hughes now plays it into Hudson. He's got options with him. Giannis plays it to Hughes. Is onside, goes through, keeper saves. Who was offside, actually? Corner for Wickham towards the far post, headed away. Second phase, corner's going to come back in. Are we going to get any pressure to push this away? They're going to shoot from distance, and it's just over the bar. Set piece for Wickham again. It's going to be headed away again. Oxby heads it away now. Hughes is going to potentially get the end of this. Nope. We're going to try and apply some pressure now, height the pitch if we can. Our players running forwards. They're going behind to the right-hand side. It's going to be put across goal, headed towards goal. It's nearly a goal as well. Hudson, the free kick, far post. Heller's completely free. Brings it on towards Tom Kiernan. Shoots. It's blocked. It's going to go for a corner. 8 shots, 4 on target, 1.63 XG with no penalty. That's a really good start for us away from home. My issue with this team is always chance creation. It's can we get enough chances? We don't seem to ever create enough chances, but that hasn't been the case in this game. It's been scoring them. Tom Kiernan off, going to put Polo left-hand side. It's a free kick from miles up. This is never going to go in, but it could be a goal from a highlight afterwards, like a corner or something. Hudson with a free kick from miles out. He hits the bar, does he? No, goes over. Okay, Hughes does it. Plays the ball across to Carl Andrew. Takes some time and then goes inside, plays across to Mitchell King. Mitchell King drives with it away to Lockwood. He's got a couple of options inside if he needs it. Hudson, back into Mitchell King. Into Lockwood. Just stay on the ball. Oh, he's drawn the red card. Now, Wickham are down to 10 men. Give us a chance. Hudson with the free kick. Clips in towards Heller. Headed away. Oxby goes up. Doesn't even get there, actually. And somehow Wickham are going away with the ball down to 10 men, don't forget. They play it back. It's going to be a Wickham highlight, is it? They go in behind. The keeper doesn't come for it, and it's just been given a penalty. But just why not foul him for no reason? Why not? Penalty. Save. Thank you. Finishes 0-0. That's a really disappointing result. One of the weaker sides in the league, and they're down to 10 men for a long period. I tried to go 2 strikers very late, but obviously it was too late. And that puts us against Derby. I mean, chance creation wasn't the problem in that game. We did create chances, we didn't take them. That's 2 0-0 draws to start the season. And the reason why that's such a disappointment, and I'm a bit annoyed by that, is that it's the same problem yet again for us. So I'll see you in a few days then for the game against Derby. Okay, for this game, I'm going to change the left winger to be wide midfielder attack, but no, stay wider for him. Let's see how that gets on the left-hand side. Here we go then. Assistant manager says, make full use of home advantage, okay? Another local derby against Derby County. Happens all the time. Set piece for Derby. Goes towards the far post. It's headed towards goal. Keeper's going to easily collect that. That can't be the highlight, surely. Come on, here we go. Harrison's going to roll it out. Who's going to roll it out to? Who do you want, Harrison? There you go. 2 players over there if you need to. He might just go long, though. He just goes long to Lockwood, who is also completely open. Who plays, hopefully, a pass through. He switches it to Kiernan. The reason I kept him on stay wide is he does seem to get a lot of these switches across to the right-hand side as we hit it over the bar. Long goal kick from Derby. Hudson gets to it, plays it into, tries to play it into Hughes. But I think Hughes is the right player for the shadow striker role. He's not really creative enough or good at finishing, but I've got not really got anybody else either to play there. Was that guy offside? I think the guy was offside. He was, yeah. Whipped in towards the far post, headed away. Giannis now gets to it. He's going to shoot, is he? Going to play it across goal. Plays it across goal to Kiernan. Kiernan right hand side. Plays it across goal. Surely this time. Come on, Kiernan. Release the ball, please. Oh, Kiernan, come on. Oh, Kiernan, just get out of the way. I've just switched Kiernan and Hughes. Giannis goes forward, plays into Hughes on the right-hand side, plays across. It's going to be flapped up the goalkeeper. Giannis gets it back. Rebel the attack. Hughes has got dribble less on, so he's going to have to try and cross this or release it now. He does to Giannis. Goes inside towards the far post. Lockwood heads it towards goal. And what a header at the far post. The one midfielder attack scores. And it's 1-0 to Burton Albion. Great cross. Great finish as well. I'm not quite sure the best prototype player is. I think just probably our best winger goes on the left, ideally. And what a header at the far post that is. And that is going to be 1-0 to Burton Albion. Another holler here. Carl Andrew's going to play it short from the goal kick. Going to try and build our attack through the centre. Heller. Plays it back to Carl Andrew. Could have gone maybe backwards in again. He's giving it away. Derby County counter-attack. They're through on goal. Are they going to score? It was close. Okay, probably the last highlight before half time. Derby played their free kick short. They're going to build their attack here. Carl Andrew steps in and wins the ball really well there, actually. Lockwood goes through, plays into Tom Kinnan. Tom Kinnan to Oxby. Oxby goes through. He's got to score it. It takes a deflection. It goes in. It's going to go down to 0 in Oxby's goal. It takes a huge deflection. And that is 2-0 to Burton Albion. Yeah, what I liked about this goal was what Lockwood does. He takes a few touches and he looks for that sort of inside pass to somebody making a run. Tom Kinnan making that sort of off-the-ball run, but not really quite purely in behind. He's tried to run in behind the defence and run past the line, but he's not trying to go in behind for like a through ball to 1v1. He's still receiving it in space and gets it across for a finish to make it 2-0. We'll say keep going. Free kick for Derby towards the far post, headed towards goal. Keeper's flapped in. It's going to go in. Is it going to stand? I think it is. It is, and it's 2-1. I'm a little disappointed in the control of this game in terms of the raw XG, of our chances, and in terms of possession. Free kick for Hudson quite far out, to be honest. He might just go for this, though. He might go for a shot on goal. He's going to time waste, take his time because it's got it set. Here it comes now, the strike on goal. He shoots, it hits the bar, goes back. Carl Andrew hits the post. Hit the crossbar on the post in the same highlight there. And there's an instant throw-in highlight straight afterwards. Giannis gets it back, plays it into Hudson, who takes some touches, can release the ball to Wilson, plays a great one into Lockwood. That's got to be a penalty, and it is. What a pass, though, from Dylan Wilson to play it into him. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Tom Kinnan, the number 10. He shoots, he scores 3-1. That is game over, and that is 3 points, and we are undefeated in today's episode. And they have it. Finishes 3-1 to Burton Albion in the local derby against Derby County. Very, very good performance, that one. That was much better. We controlled the game decently enough, and we managed to eventually get the goals that we needed. It wasn't great at half-time, but eventually we got there. Good extra with the penalty was there as well, but we eventually managed to get ourselves there, got ourselves the goals. So I wasn't totally happy with how we controlled the game in moments. I didn't think we'd created enough chances on goal, and we didn't control the possession very well. So I don't know. There were bits that I was happy with, bits that I wasn't. But all in all, it was a good result. But we need to work on something, I think, going forwards. I mean, now that we've won that game, I may as well run with it for a few more matches. We've got 3 away games in a row coming up. And then once it starts to go wrong, we can start to look at tweaking it again. But that was a much better system, I think, with having him on an attack duty. Seemed to do a bit more. Seemed to get a tiny bit more in possession out of the team. We're still not great at controlling the possession, though, it doesn't seem like. But in fact, where are we after 3 matches in terms of just that one stat? Actually, it's not too bad. 7th isn't too bad. 53% isn't great, but it's 7th in the entire league. So, okay, that is going to do the episode. So next episode, we will come back for probably the Barnsley, West Brom, Bristol City games on the other side of December. And I'll play all these games here off camera. And we'll see how we're doing. I'm hopeful. It's been a pretty decent start. I mean, Terry Taylor's gone. Now Tom Hamer's gone. The only remaining player from the original team, really, is Joe Powell, who's on the bench anyway. And then after that, we've got William as well, who's not really playing. I'm hesitant to get rid of Joe Powell because if we need like a player to come in midfield, he's such a good player. But we could get like 4 million for him. That could be a decent amount. And it could help us with our facilities over the next few years. I'm going to consider selling him, I think, because it's just good for facilities and money, right? We've got Alberto Polo who can come in and do his sort of job. He's not quite the same level of player, though, is he? Yeah, if I was to sell Powell and we got like a 6-month injury to Brendan Hughes, that could be a huge problem. So I'm hesitant to do it for that one reason, because we haven't really got that many number 10 type players that have got a bit of energy and pace about them. But that is going to do the episode. All I can say is a massive thank you to everybody for watching the series, being a part of this series. I appreciate you all. We're going to keep going. Hopefully, we're going to get there and get ourselves to Premier League pretty soon. It's getting tough, though, isn't it? But we have improved this year, I think. We're on the good track. And I think our little tweaks to the training program we've been doing every year have all improved bit by bit. So I think we're in a good place now, having the schedule where it is, starting 2 weeks with the in-game preseason. Then our whole schedule goes in. Then we're going to repeat month 9 again. We'll see if we can continue our last April's form into this April. Was it March? March and April going into this season. Yeah, no, it was March that we did really well, then April that we didn't do so well. So let's see if we can do better in April this year. But that's going to conclude it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all, of course, next time.